Good morning and welcome into the Lifeline Morning Show. I'm Steven. Thanks so much for hanging out with me. You know, I love getting your day started off on the right foot. And to help with that, I use an inspiring quote. Today's is so good. Listen closely. The undertaking of a new action brings new strength. When I first read this quote, I thought about like when you go to the gym, right? And you start working out. And one of the main phrases I hear people say after that first day of working out is, "Oh, I've got muscles that are hurting I didn't even know existed." You know? Because you found them. You started working them out a little bit. So that new motion has caused a little bit of soreness, but it's also causing, as that muscle breaks down, for it to come back stronger and stronger each time. So I just wanted to remind you of that. Maybe you find yourself stuck right now. Well, there's another old saying that says, if you want what you always got, well, you got to do what you've always done. But if you want something different, you've got to change things up, right? So, I want to encourage you today. Maybe try something new. Something you've thought about. It's kind of been in the back of your mind, but you've never quite had the courage to step out and do it. Well, nobody says you have to go all in on the first step, but why don't you just, dip your toes in the water a little bit. Let's see. Let's start something new today and see if it doesn't start to improve the way that you're feeling. Maybe even getting you out of that stuck place, you know? So keep that in mind. Try something new and, hey, always be kind in the process, okay? Now, when you try this new thing, it might not go according to plan. It might be a little tough at first, but that's when you start to develop those muscles that help you to overcome it. And as you're developing on that front, all the other stuff starts to improve too. So I just wanted to give you a little inspiration this morning. It's all going to be okay. And you can get out of this rut. Maybe you're not in a rut. Maybe you're like, Steven, I feel like I am living on a cloud right now. To which I would say, I'm so happy for you. I really am. I live for moments like that, right? When you feel like, hey, everything is going my way. There's one thing that I was talking with a friend recently, and they said, Steven, I thought that maybe after I got saved, everything would just kind of, be easy. After I accepted Christ, everything would just be fine. But I found that life just has its ups and downs. It's kind of like a roller coaster. And that's true. It really is. But here's the deal. The reason why we can have peace that passes all kinds of understanding is because that we know we're not alone. And when we try the new things, well, we're not doing it by ourselves. So remember that today. You are not alone. You can do this. God is for you and not against you. Now, go get it. Make this the best day so far, okay? All right. Now here's what Christmas means to me. Corinne was on vacation, right? She's from France, and she was over here in the States. Of course, she was up in New York City, and, she was hungry, so she went and got one of those iconic New York pizzas, right? But she couldn't eat it all, and so she had some leftovers. She noticed a homeless guy out on the street. She didn't have any money to give him, but she thought, hey, I can give him my pizza. Well, you ever heard that saying that sometimes you entertain angels unaware? Well, this was a pretty cool story. I'm going to tell you the second part of it after Phil Wickham and Ann Wilson. So stick around and prepare to have your mind blown. Who exactly it was she gave that pizza to. You're going to love it. November 7th, 2003. That's 20 years ago. Elf came out. Will Ferrell wearing the elf costume. It was hilarious. I know a lot of people, that's their favorite Christmas movie. And it looked like it was so much fun to shoot. That's one of the things I love is kind of looking behind the scenes of how things are filmed, right? Well, I got to doing a little research on the movie Elf, and I found out that, a lot of it was shot at sound stages, like movies usually are shot, but then they had some on-location filming as well. And they stopped at places across New York City. In fact, if you remember from the movie, when Will Ferrell as Elf is crossing the street, he bumps into this guy. He's got a white beard. He's wearing a red tracksuit. That guy was not a paid actor. He was just a guy walking along the street in New York City. He didn't really know what was going on. He made his way into the movie and didn't even know it. It was a really cool scene, right? Well, that goes to show you that you never know what's really going on sometimes. I know we had a few reports, well, more than a few, about Matthew McConaughey being here in Alabama, down in Bessemer in the past few months, right? They've been filming down there. And come on, Matthew McConaughey? That is so cool. I saw pictures everywhere. It was all over Facebook. But, here in Alabama, we don't see it near as much as they would up in New York City, where so many of these movies are shot. And the reason why I'm mentioning New York City is because that's where we find Corinne. Corinne was on vacation from France, getting that true Big Apple experience, right? And she couldn't be without a New York-style pizza. So she got this huge pizza. She couldn't eat it all, and, well, she noticed somebody out on the street. He looked very disheveled. Looked like he was looking through garbage cans, trying to find some food. And she felt really sad for this guy. So she's like, I don't have any money, but I do have some extra pizza. Would you like it? And yeah. So she gave it to him, and little did she know that was actor Richard Gere. And he was doing a little studying for a character that he was going to be playing in the coming months. And he was just doing some practice out there, looking the part. And he was very convincing. Completely warmed his heart to get that pizza from a complete stranger. And yeah, now I just had to pass that along to you. You never know who you're going to bump into, and you never know how far that act of gratitude can go. This act of gratitude got national attention because she just wanted to do a good thing for somebody who she thought needed it. And turned out that he was a Hollywood actor. How cool is that? But the Bible says that sometimes we entertain angels unaware. You ever had those experiences before? Yeah, it's like you saw somebody, and maybe they were critical in a particular circumstance in your life. Maybe in a car accident, or maybe it looked like a homeless guy at the gas station, and you decided to help him. And it's like you helped him, and then you turned around and you turned back to see where they were, and they were gone. They vanished like they were never there. It's happened before. I've heard many stories of that. So all I'm saying is be good and do good to everybody, because you never know who you're going to be doing good to. All right? All right. Thanks for hanging out with me here on the Lifeline Morning Show. I've got some weather and some word of life to get to. Thanks for hanging out with me. 26 degrees with snow for our friends in Helsinki, Finland right now. I did hear that somebody said there were possibly a few little light snowflakes falling in Union Grove. I'm not 100% on that, but I wouldn't put it past it because it's cold out there. And that little bit of precipitation, it's just enough to get you excited, But hey, it's snowing in Helsinki, Finland. But how about around here? Well, right now it's 30 in Boaz, 33 in Arab, and 38 in Huntsville. And your word of life today comes to you from Psalm 107, verse 1, in the New Living Translation of the Bible. Give thanks to the Lord, for he is good. His faithful love endures forever. Yes, it does. Hey, why don't you share some of that love with somebody today by sharing that word of life? I've got it ready for you across all of our socials: Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Twitter, and TikTok. And of course, it's always at the top of our website, 885jfm.com. Hey, doing that temperature check of all the places listening to us right now, I also see Joel Modis hanging out with us in Palm Coast, Florida. A balmy 44 degrees where he is right now. Enjoy that sunshine, Joel. Thanks for hanging out. A very faithful listener of our station is Mr. Joel Modis. He's down in Palm Coast, Florida now. He started listening to us when he lived here in North Alabama, and he's taken us with him wherever he's gone, even on vacation. We're talking about like to Jamaica, to the Caribbean. He's taken us out to Hawaii. He's taken us all over the place. And I like shouting him out whenever I can. And I was just talking about the temperatures. See, with him down in Palm Coast, Florida, they're a lot warmer down there than we are here. 43 degrees right now in sunshine. So I shouted him out just a few minutes ago, and he texted me, said, we're not used to the 40 degrees weather here in Florida. We'll warm up to 70, though. That'll inspire me to set up my frosty yard decoration today. That is so good. I said, haha, that's great. Watch out for falling iguanas from the palm trees. I hear that really happens. No, seriously. I've seen news reports of falling iguanas when it gets really cold down in Florida. So be careful, Joe Modis. Stay away from those palm trees. Thanks for listening, man. I really appreciate that you're a part of our family here at 88.5 JFM. And hey, we've got so many people who love to listen on the radio, on the stream, on the podcast. And I want to make sure that you understand as well. We are thankful for you. Thank you for being a part of our family here as well. So many kids in the car right now waiting to get into school. I wanted to talk about something specifically for you. Yeah, sometimes we have these electives and we can choose what class we want to take. For some people, they choose to take band, or maybe they choose to take PE, or maybe they choose to take another class. It's one of those, not an academic one, but one that's like, hey, you can get into it if you want to. Maybe it's theater and drama for you, or I don't know, maybe it's choir. There are so many options, but sometimes the interest just isn't there. Initially, they'll offer it, but then since not a lot of people signed up for it, they're like, no, we're not going to have that one after all. And if it's really something you were looking forward to, that could be a big bummer, right? Well, I came across Brian Trent and his story about that happening to him. And let me give you a little background on Brian. You see, he is a pastor up in Hampton, South Carolina of the Lighthouse Church. And he's got quite the following over on TikTok, and you can find him by typing in, Trent Tribe. It's him and his family. So your parents can look him up and show you what he's been doing. It's really a lot of fun, but this is his story. And it might just, I'll let him tell you.
Can I tell you a funny story that might just encourage you today? Especially if you've ever doubted God's ability to go before you. So a long time ago when I was a senior in high school, they had this class that I was supposed to take, but there wasn't enough people that signed up for it. And I said, how about 2 study halls? And they said, no, that ain't gonna work. They said there's only one class you can take. Speech and drama. At the time, I wasn't interested in their speech or their drama. That was the only one, and they had to put me somewhere. I really didn't want to speak in front of people, and I didn't want to do some kind of play in front of the student body. But little did I know then that God was preparing me for something that wasn't even on my radar. At the time, if I'm honest, I didn't even really care about what God wanted. I'm just keeping it real. Now, I spent the first few months in misery, and I was not happy with any of it. But after a while, I started thinking, this ain't so bad. And it ended up being one of my favorite classes ever. Just because we don't like it doesn't mean that it's not God's will, because God sees way further down the road than we do. You see, our temporary happiness is not as important as God's will for our life. So if you find yourself in a speech and drama class, or somewhere you don't really want to be, God might just be using it to prepare you for what's ahead. You see, if I'd had my way, I wouldn't have been prepared for the plans that God had for me. And trust me, His plans were way better than mine. But you see, God's plan and His purpose are not going to happen on my will and my way. So as hard as it may be, trust Him because He knows what He's doing.
What do you think about that? Yeah? So maybe suffering through is really going to be worth it because, hey, God sees the big picture that we can't see, and He might just be getting you ready. I love that. Hey, again, his name is Brian Trent. You can find him over on the socials. Just type in Trent Tribe. And he's got a lot of good content. All right, one more song and then the Carline competition. Here's Jordan Smith. Say it with me in 3, 2, 1. Give me the horn. All right, now let's go ahead and crank that engine. Then let's start that music so I can say, hey, everybody, it's time to play the Carline competition. Your chance to win some gift cards this morning. It's a trivia game. I'm going to ask a question, give you the cue to call, and then you can win 3 gift cards. 1 to keep, 2 to give away. So let's get it going. Here it is. How many walking legs does a lobster have? Does it have 10, 6, 12, or 14? 256-505-0885 is the number to call. Again, how many walking legs does a lobster have? Does it have 10, 6, 12, or 14? The number, 256-505-0885. Call me up, let me know, and win some gift cards. Here's Katie Nicole, and oh, what a king. Okay, so I think I figured it out. Santa is not eating the cookies on Christmas morning. No, instead, he's taken them to power his sleigh. Well, let me explain to you, okay? Because something just happened this week. I don't know if you're aware of this, but on Tuesday, there was a plane that landed in New York. It came from London. It crossed the Atlantic. But how did it get there? Well, this is from Virgin Aviation. They decided to run a jet on fat and sugar. Seriously, this is a real thing. SAF, Sustainable Aviation Fuel, right? Now, it's made from waste fats and plant sugars. It emits 70% less carbon than petroleum-based jet fuel. And it landed at John F. Kennedy International Airport Tuesday afternoon. first time something like this has happened. Now, this is a pretty cool alternative to using fossil fuels. They say it's really going to cut down on the carbon footprint, but it's not quite good enough to, well, start putting in all these other jet engines because, well, it's a certain mixture. And because there's not that much of a demand for it yet, well, it's few and far between. So it's going to take a little while to get this going, but I think this is a great alternative, right? And it's like fat and sugar. What are the two main ingredients of cookies? Fat and sugar. So who knows? We could be powering our cars with cookies coming in the next few years. I don't know. I know the electric thing. I'm not quite sure that's going to work out because there's a lot of infrastructure that has to be built, a lot of electricity need across our area to really get the EVs working. And this whole idea of a gas station, I guess it goes away too if you're just relying on electricity, right? I don't know. It's going to be weird, but I've heard of hydrogen fuel cells as well. So you've got some alternatives out there, but we'll see what happens with this. I just wanted to clue you into what's happening. They actually powered a jet off of fat and sugar. Wow. I power my body off of fat and sugar every day. Here's Danny Gokey. Angels we have heard on high. Sometimes it just doesn't work. Sometimes the question is just a bomb, so you just move on, right? I'll go ahead and tell you the answer. So that first question on the car line competition was, how many walking legs does a lobster have? And the answer was 10. I'd never thought of that before. I had to look it up myself just to make sure it was right. So, yep, 10 legs on a lobster. So here we go. Here is question number 2. And I hope that I'll get a caller on this one. We'll find out, though. I think this one's a better question. So here we go. To which family of animals does the llama belong? Does it belong to the horse family, the goat family, the camel family, or the ape family? 256-505-0885 is the number to call. Again, to which family of animals does the llama belong? Horse, goat, camel, or ape? 256-505-0885 is the number to call. Waiting on your call right now. And who knows, you might be taking home 3 gift cards today. Here's Avalon with Majesty. 88.5 JFM, good morning.
Good morning.
How's it going?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm doing all right. What's your name?
Vicki Craig.
Vicki, good to hear from you, Vicki.
Yes, good to hear from you too.
Yeah, all right, so want to play a game?
Sure.
All right, so to which family of animals does the llama belong? Is it horse, goat, camel, or ape?
It's camel.
It is camel. You said that so confidently, like you knew that was the answer.
I watched Dr. Poe.
You can learn a lot from Dr. Poe.
Yep.
Very cool. Well, who knew watching TV would win you 3 gift cards this morning?
There you go. And I'm going to pass them forward.
Oh, wow. We're starting a train, huh?
We're going to start a little train today, yeah.
Very cool. Could you still shout out maybe a couple people that mean a lot to you today?
Well, I'm going to shout out my great-great-nephews.
Awesome.
Poe and Jet.
Oh, cool. Tell me something special about
little things. Oh, man, they just brighten my day.
Oh.
Make me smile, make me laugh.
I love
Sweet little boys.
Very cool. Well, thank you so much for sharing the love, and thanks for calling, and thanks for listening.
You're welcome. Have a great day.
You too. Bye.
Bye-bye.
So we got a little bit of a train rolling through. Instead of 3 gift cards now, it's going to be 6 gift cards up for grabs. It all depends on whether or not you can answer my question. So here we go. What are tines? T-I-N-E-S. Are they piano hammers, fork prongs, shoelace ends, or weather vane points? 256-505-0885 is the number to call. I've got my caller already. Y'all are quick on the draw this morning. All right, stay right there for me while I start this next song and I'll get your answer. Here's Casting Crowns. I heard the bells on Christmas Day. It's your song, Larry.
And that was just for me, man. Hey. Good morning. I think tines are things on a fork.
You're exactly right, sir. You got it.
And the first one, a lobster has 8 walking legs.
Actually, it has
yes,
a little more.
I looked it up.
You looked it up? I looked it up too, and
yes.
I found.
And mine says. Let me read you what mine says.
Okay.
I can get to it. Hold on. It says lobsters have 8 walking legs. The front 3 pairs bear claws, the first of which are larger than the others. The front pinchers are also biologically considered legs, so they can belong to the order Decapodods.
Cool. Yes. Okay. So you have corrected me. It's 8 legs. instead of 10. Thank you. Sometimes my little thing is wrong, so thanks for getting
That's
that
okay. That's okay. That's okay. That's okay. So I get 6 to pass on.
Well, yeah, you can pass them on, or you can take them for yourself.
Pass them on, man.
Passing them on. All right, man. Hey, this is my favorite part. I want you to shout out just a couple people that mean a lot to you today.
Okay. All right. Max and Neil Wise
All right.
mean a lot to me. Jackie Patsy Bolton. I can do my 6. And Miles Pell. How about that?
Very cool. This is just some amazing people, huh?
Yes. They're just church members and just amazing folks.
Very
So
cool.
they look after the old preacher, man.
All right. Well, thank you so much for calling me up this morning.
Sure enough,
and
buddy.
we're going to get these gift cards rolled on over.
Sure enough, thank you for my song, too.
Yes, sir. You're welcome.
Wonderful. Amen.
All right. Bye.
Good morning. Bye.
Larry Walls, thanks again for calling me this morning. And yes, it's funny. Sometimes you think you know something and you just don't. I even searched it on Google about the lobster legs. And so 8 walking legs. I'm going to have to do better research. But thank you for calling me out on that. And we all learned a little something today. Yeah. So, hey, that's 6 gift cards that we're going to roll over. And we're so close to the end of today, to the end of people getting into school. I think we just need to hurry up and get this question out there. So let me clear this phone line real quick. And let's ask you this question right here. All right? You ready for it? Okay. Here we go. I'm trying to think of a good question. I've got a few of them in front of me, but which one do I want to go with? Here we go. How about this one? Yeah, we'll go with let's go with this one. I don't want to make it too hard. Okay, here we go. Now, these are some names that you're going to recognize. Here we go. Who discovered X-rays? Was it Thomas Edison, Albert Einstein, Marie Curie, or Wilhelm Röntgen? 256-505-0885. Y'all are quick. I've already got a caller. Are you kidding? Hey, stay on the phone line with me right there while I start this next song, and I'll get your answer. Here's Third Day. Hey, good morning.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm good.
Good. What's your name?
No.
Very nice to talk with you this morning. Where are you headed right now?
To school.
To school. What grade are you in?
First.
All right. So, you looking forward to school today?
Yeah.
Nice. Well, I'm looking forward to having some fun with you. I've got a question right here, and I wonder if you know the answer to it. Who discovered X-rays? Was it Thomas Edison, Albert Einstein, Marie Curie, or Wilhelm Röntgen?
Wilhelm.
Wilhelm is correct. You got it. That's the person who discovered X-rays. You just won not 3 gift cards, not 6 gift cards, but 9 gift cards. What do you think about that?
Yay.
Yay. I think yay too. So this is my favorite part now. You get to tell me about 2 very special people in your life that mean a whole lot to you. Who are they?
Teresa and Michaela.
Oh, who are they?
They are my sisters.
Your sisters? Okay, so tell me something special about each one of them.
One, because she is sweet, and another, because she is funny.
Awesome. Thanks for sharing the love here on the radio. All right, well, I've got these gift cards. I'll be putting them in the mail to you. I need to grab your address.
Hello?
Hey, how are you?
Hey, I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing good. Hey, tell me that name one more time.
Inara? Moses?
Moses! You're Carissa, right?
Yes, sir.
Very cool. I don't know if I've ever heard from Inara before, have I?
No, sir. She used to get dropped off first
Okay,
at AKPK.
gotcha.
So this is the first time she was able to call in.
Awesome.
She was usually too early.
Yeah. Well, I'm so glad to hear from Inara. Inara Moses, thanks again. First time caller this morning. And hey, I wanted to tell you a little bit more about this X-ray deal. Okay, so Wilhelm is his name. I'm butchering this last name, I'm sorry, but it's Rontgen, so I said Röntgen. Anyway, he discovered X-rays in December of 1895 after 7 weeks of work, during which he had studied the properties of a new type of radiation able to go through screens of notable thickness. He named them X-rays to underline the fact that their nature was unknown. So there you go, a little bit more about X-rays you probably didn't know. Hey, we're always learning something new, right? I love playing this car line competition. It's always a blast. 9 gift cards being sent out to Inara So much fun to be had again tomorrow morning, starting at 7 o'clock. We'll play it again. But for now, well, we've got some music to listen to. We've got a drive time devotion to get to, and so many great things to talk about. So stick around. And remember, if you have to step away from your radio, you can tune us in online. That's at 885jfm.com. Click that On Now button, press play, and you're good to go.
This is Pastor Gary Kraft with your Drive Time Devotion. Road rage is a real thing. Have you ever found yourself talking to the car in front of you, knowing they can't hear you, nor do they even really notice you in their rearview mirror? Maybe it's a train that stopped traffic dead, or everyone decided to run to the store at the same time. Sometimes we express our frustration or fear toward people when circumstances are the problem. Even if people cause a problem, they really aren't the enemy. Paul knew the reality of this truth when he wrote to the Ephesian church that we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against the spiritual forces of evil in the heavenly realms. People can be used by the enemy to oppose us, but we've been called to pray for them, love them, and even bless them. That sounds extreme and dangerous, but it's the command of Christ. Yet without His love growing strong within us, it's impossible. Maybe we should start by simply deciding that we will try to treat those who oppose us with Christ's love. Then depend on the work of His Spirit to empower that decision, because that's the kind of love that changed the world. The kind we will be celebrating this Christmas season and then Easter. Dare pray the prayer for love like that. Let's pray. Father, we know we're incapable of loving our enemies, those who oppose and even hate us, but you want us to live out your love as your gift to others this Christmas season. Empower us, Holy Spirit. In Jesus' name, amen.
When's the last time that you got a Happy Meal, Mom? Dad? I know it's been a while, right? Maybe you got one for your kids, but how about one just for you? Do you remember getting one when you were little? Well, guess what? You're going to have an opportunity to do just that coming up in the next week or two. So stick around and I'll tell you exactly what's going on. Yeah, they're bringing back some toys, and these are pretty big Happy Meals. I think you're going to like this idea. So stick around and I'll tell you all the details coming up after Matthew West. When I was a kid, going to McDonald's was what I looked forward to all the time because of the Happy Meal. I mean, what kid doesn't look forward to getting a toy with their food? Come on. But, that kind of left me as I've gotten older. There's not a Happy Meal for me anymore that'll fill me up, It kind of feels weird going up and ordering a Happy Meal for an adult. But guess what? It's not going to feel weird anymore coming up very, very soon. Yeah, McDonald's is bringing back, that Happy Meal. But it's bigger, it's better, it's bolder, and some new toys are coming with it. Now, let me tell you a little bit about this. December 11th, nationwide, McDonald's is going to be offering these. And it's not just like a 4-piece or a 6-piece chicken nugget. No, it's a 10-piece chicken McNuggets or a Big Mac, fries, and a soft drink with a McNugget Buddy collectible. Yeah, this is pretty cool. Now, if you remember back in 1988, these McNugget Buddies came out. But it's been a while, and they're coming out with all new fashion sense. So it's going to be happening. Again, coming up December 11th, starting. Then you can go and get your own Happy Meal and, relive your childhood again. So you could get your kid a Happy Meal and you could get yourself a Happy Meal and just be happy the whole time. So what do you think about that? I love it. Hey, thanks so much for hanging out with me here on the Lifeline Morning Show. Now, some more great music for you. I got Chris Tomlin. He shall reign forevermore.
Oh my gosh, I'm so excited about that. I got one when they did that crazy little Halloween thing or whatever. I had to go. I'm like, okay, I'm just like a kid. So, but the thing is I never got to go much when I was little. That was like a huge treat. It wasn't, things were different.
Right.
And I remember the first time I ever went through. Sadly, my granddad was really sick and in the hospital, and that's the first time I got one. And we went down Gunnersville Mountain, and I thought. And went through the middle, and I thought I was at Disney World, I guess. So, because, I guess it makes it special when you don't get it very often,
right,
or whatever.
Yeah.
So, it's like one of those happy memories with a Happy Meal. So, I'm like, yeah. So, anyway, I just had to tell you.
Thank you.
I hope you have a good day, friend.
Thanks. I hope you do, too. Pretty cool stuff. Hey, you never know when something, is just going to hit you out of nowhere. It hits you right in the feels, Yeah, the Adult Happy Meal. Your chance to get your own coming up on December 11th. That's when they're going to start rolling those things out. And the McNugget Buddies are going to be the toy in there, but it's not a little small meal. No, it's an adult-sized meal. You got a Big Mac or a 10-piece McNugget and fries in there. So, yeah, just wanted to pass that along to you. Thank you, Evelyn, for calling me. When I was a kid, I used to love to go there. I didn't go very often either, so it was definitely a win to go to McDonald's. I want you to be thinking about something because I'm getting ready to talk about it. Okay, what kind of friends do you have? Do you have really close friends? Do you have friends that you used to be close with, but now you're like long-distance friends? Do you have some friends who just reach out when they're going through a hard time? I want you to think about all your friends, and we're going to talk a little more in depth about that coming up here on the show. It's going to be so good. I hope you'll stick around. So remember, if you have to step away from your radio, click that On Now button on our website, 885jfm.com, press play, and we can hang out together. We can stay right there in the background, and you can hear the story coming up. It is so good. You need to be here. Came across this lady over on the socials, and I thought, whoa, she's really got a hold on this whole concept. These different kinds of friends that we have in our lives. There's one in particular that can kind of drain the life out of you. And I'm sorry to say it that way, but that's just simply how it is. So I want to share this with you. See what you think. See if this makes sense.
Hey, down here where I live in the South, we have these vines that crawl up around the trunks of trees. And they wind their way all the way around. And what they're doing is they're using that trunk as a host to search for the light, to get the sunlight, to grow. Without that main trunk, that main tree, the strangler vine wouldn't have the opportunity to grow and live. And we call it a strangler vine because eventually, if it does its job, it will take over that tree and cause it to die. So it causes the tree to die, but it stays alive. In our friendships and our relationships, sometimes we have folks in our lives that we realize, wow, I'm the giving tree. The Giving Tree is a book by Shel Silverstein. Most of us read as little kids and we thought, that's such a good book. But if we think about it, that tree in that book was giving and giving and giving and getting nothing really in return, because it didn't feel the love back. I've never been accused of being a non-generous person. I'm pretty generous. I love to give. I love to support. I will bend over backwards to help out my friends. And they do the same for me. But sometimes you have those folks into your lives that become strangler vines, that use you as a way to gain all the support they need to thrive. But in the meantime, you're suffocating. And those friends or relationships will accuse you of not giving enough, of not doing enough, of not being enough for them. We have to re-examine. We're coming into 2024 and we have to re-examine our relationships, our intimate relationships, our friendships, our work relationships, and think, in which of these is it always uneven? There will never be a time when it's 50-50. That's just not how life works. And I'm more than happy to be 60-40 or 70-30. However, when I feel strangled, when I feel accused of not giving enough, when I've given and given and given, I recognize that as a strangler vine. They will continue to do so until my life is gone, until my energy is gone, until my resources are gone. And they'll keep going until they find another host, another tree to grab onto and take the resources from them. Reassess as you enter 2024.
Want to shout out a friend in Skyline, Alabama, listening with us right now on the stream. Thank you for hanging out with us. Also, we've got listeners in Florida and Kansas, a ton right here in Alabama, and across the ocean in Helsinki, Finland. Wow. Thanks for making us part of your day. Whether it's on the radio, the stream, or the podcast, just want to make sure you understand. We're thankful for you. So I thought I was going to make it, but boy, was I wrong. Here we are on a Thursday, and I'm going to have to go to Walmart. I thought for sure we'd make it through the week without me having to go, but nope. We made an Aldi run on Sunday, and so the other stuff that we need, like toilet paper and a few other odds and ends, deodorant. By the way, I hate getting down to the last little bit of deodorant, and in my particular kind, in the stick, there's this little plastic cartridge. And this plastic cartridge holds a lot more deodorant. I'm down to pulling the cartridge out, sticking my fingers through and rubbing it on with my fingers. It's not fun. So I've got to go get some more deodorant and a bunch of other stuff. Plus, we're getting ready for a birthday party this weekend. Our daughter Grace, we're celebrating her 9th birthday. So that's going to be fun. So I got to pick up the, the helium balloon, the helium tank to blow up the balloons. And so I don't know about you, but there's one thing so true about, well, let me just read it to you. I found this online and I thought, man, is this so relatable. Nothing refreshes my memory of what I need at the grocery store like coming home from the grocery store. When you realize I went there for that one thing and I forgot that one thing. How did that happen, right? It happens to us all, I guess. Thanks for hanging out with me here on the Lifeline Morning Show. Hey, coming up, we are going to hear from the moms. They're giving us some hints, some tips, some tricks, us guys, because we don't clue into what our wives are saying all the time. They actually use different language, and sometimes we feel like we're expected to read their minds, but no, these moms are helping us all out. They are Moms Spill the Tea, and there is yet another little phrase that moms use that we're going to learn what it really means this morning at the top of the 9 o'clock hour. So I hope you'll stick around, and all you ladies, go ahead, get your guys to tune into the radio, be here at 9 o'clock, because that's when I'm doing this, and I can help all of us guys out, okay? And make a little smoother relationship at the house. Yeah, sound good? I'll go ahead and say it, but I don't really like saying it. Ladies, yep, us guys, we're not the sharpest knives in the drawer sometimes. I know. It's like sometimes we're clueless. You think that we understand what you're telling us, but for whatever reason, we're just not getting it. I've lived that life. And for those of you with husbands of like a long time, like say, I don't know, 20, 30, 40 years, you got your guy well trained, so he probably knows what you're talking about most of the time. But for some of us, it takes a while to learn what you say really means. And so I'm so glad I found this amazing resource. It's Moms Spill the Tea over on TikTok, and they are sharing some of these phrases you ladies use that we should know what it means, but we just simply don't. So she's kind of spelling it out. And on this one in particular, she claims it's a joke, but I don't really think it is. She's already got comments under here. One person saying facts. The other one saying, don't forget, agreeing to do it but putting it off for an undetermined amount of time doesn't fly. So keep that in mind when she shares this. Fellas, you ready? This is our lesson for today, okay? This is what she really means.
Hi, and welcome back to my series, What Your Wife Really Means. Now this is for all the wives who are also moms. If she says, I'll just do it, what she really means is, you do it. She's probably done it a million times, gotten up in the middle of the night to change the kid or to feed the baby. And you know what? You do it. Except you're probably going to do it wrong, so she'll just do it anyways.
And in my own experience, I've found there's a bit of attitude that comes with, I'll just do it. It's a way it's said that really communicates that, yeah, you're about to get in trouble if you don't get up and do something, fellas. So I'm just saying, let's be a little more intuitive here. Let's listen a little more intently, okay? All right. We can make this marriage thing a little smoother if we just know what she's meaning when she says these things. So there you go. That's today's I'll just do it means no, you do it, okay? Thanks for hanging out with me. The Elf on the Shelf. Are you doing it this year? Yeah, when are you going to get started? Or have you had enough? You're like, nope, it's too much. It's just infuriating. It's exhausting, and I can't handle it anymore. I got you. I think that's exactly where Susanna Lewis is coming from. Well, she wrote this, and I want to pass it along to you. She says, I never wanted to deal with the whole Elf on the Shelf thing. Before the creative and crafty parents that truly enjoy posing little Tinkerbell Humperdinck in the Barbie dream house bash me for being a horrible parent and a poor sport, allow me to explain myself. Mama, I get it. I don't want to do the elf on the shelf either. It's not that I'm some evil Ebenezerette that wishes to rob my children of Christmas magic. It's not solely because I have no desire to play travel agent and send the thing jet-setting all over the house. It's because the magic of Christmas has successfully existed for centuries without an overpriced marketing ploy that throws a candy cane-colored monkey wrench into my long-standing elf beliefs. You see, when I was a child, Santa's elves were a mysterious and unseen little people who I imagined resembled Danny DeVito in Minky Pants. I never knew where they were hiding, and I spent the Christmas season wondering if peeping Tom Wiggles was lurking in the bushes outside my bedroom window. The unknown whereabouts of Santa's helpers helped keep me on the straight and narrow. And since the introduction of Elf on the Shelf, the mystery associated with the magical little beings has been diminished. The kids clearly see him hanging from the dining room chandelier and believe they have the freedom to, make all kinds of mess with toothpaste and toilet paper in the unseen bathroom. That's a fail on the elf's part, for sure. When we were given an Elf on the Shelf as a present last year, I reluctantly placed it on the mantle and left it undisturbed for days. My children came home from school with elaborate tales that they'd heard from friends about finding their respective elves in boxes of Cheerios or camping out in piles of marshmallows. And they wanted to know why our girl elf, Snowbell, was such a boring old maid. I channeled my creativity and began moving that elf half an inch down the mantle every night. This just wasn't adventurous enough for my children, and I contemplated putting it in the attic and telling my kids that Santa had relocated Snowbell to the Himalayas. That would allow me to have free mantle space to place my Worst Mother Ever award, right? I just couldn't compete with the elf stories that my children heard at school. Elves all over the community were casting lines in pond bowls for cheesy goldfish. Elves were eating all the pizza rolls. Elves were wrapping toilets in festive paper. I have a hard enough time wrapping square boxes. I'm not wrapping toilets. That's wasteful and asinine. The name says it all. It's an elf on a shelf. A shelf is where it should stay. It isn't called elf making a mess in the kitchen. Moving the thing should not require a 20-foot ladder, bungee cords, and a Pinterest login. It should do as its rhyming name implies and stay on a shelf. Let's get back to the basics, though. What's the sole purpose of the elf? Elves are supposed to be at the North Pole helping Santa, make Nintendos, and most importantly, keeping children in line, right? Instead of making the elf the star of a comedy/travel show, parents should simply allow the elf to serve its purpose. I've got a few ideas that might make the elf help you. First of all, don't break out the elf too soon. Snowbell only sticks around our house for 12 days because a song about doves, golden rings, pregnant geese, and the Partridge Family states that there are 12 days of Christmas. Right, but if you want to get a little more out of your kids, here are some ideas for you. Now, number 1, the main shelf. This is a mantle or shelf located in the hub of the home. When the elf utilizes this location, it helps protect the breakable ornaments on the Christmas tree and keeps Caillou's whining from being turned up to deafening decibels. Always go back to this shelf when in doubt. Number 2, the pantry shelf. Place the elf on top of your favorite snack. If the kids can't touch the elf, they can't touch the bag of cookies, which serves as the elf's couch. You can protect that snack of yours. Number 3, the kids' bedroom shelf. Place the elf where it'll be the first thing your child sees upon waking. This emphasizes the whole sees you when you're sleeping thing and also helps motivate your child to do as you've repeatedly asked and pick up their Legos and other foot-harming pieces of minuscule plastic from their bedroom floor. If you have multiple children, congratulations! This can be used multiple nights. Number 4, bathroom shelf. This will ensure that your kids wash their hands and brush their teeth at least once this holiday season. If you have terribly nasty children with horrible bathroom habits, feel free to use this one as often as you'd like. All right, that is number 4. Here's number 5, kitchen shelf. I plan ahead for dinners when broccoli will be served, and I place the elf on the kitchen counter. My kids eat vegetables like they are mini corn dogs when Snowbell is watching. All right, next one, car shelf. This is also known as the dashboard. Obviously, this should be used when long car rides are scheduled. Ooh, it keeps them in line. And finally, repeat. It's simple, really. Does your child like to set things on fire? Put little Twinkleberry on a shelf next to the box of matches. Got a kid with a headboard smothered in boogers? Put the elf on the child's bedroom shelf next to a box of Kleenex. This little elf can really do you some good. So what do you think about that? I think she's got some pretty creative ideas. Again, that's Susanna B. Lewis. And it's entitled To the Mama Who is Doing Elf on the Shelf Even Though She Doesn't Want to. I love that. Some good ideas for you there if you're going to use the elf this season. Thanks for hanging out with me here on the Lifeline Morning Show. Right now it's 44 degrees in Boaz. It's 48 in Arab. And oh, looky there. It actually turned out to be a two-kiss kind of morning. We're kissing that 50-degree mark right now in Huntsville, Alabama. And right here in Guntersville, we're still sitting at 48. But tons of sunshine, blue sky. I'm seeing a few clouds out there. But it is turning out to be a pretty gorgeous day. Hope you're having a great one so far. Hey, your word of life today is a good one. It's from Psalm 107, verse 1, in the New Living Translation of the Bible. Give thanks to the Lord, for he is good. His faithful love endures forever. Yes, it does. Gotten you out of a pickle a time or two, hasn't it? Well, guess what? You can share that story of your faith with somebody in your life today. You can use that word of life to start that conversation too. It's real easy. We've got it for you in photo and video form across our socials. That's Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Twitter, and TikTok. And it's always at the top of our website, 885jfm.com. And hey, if you'd like to go see an amazing Christmas concert, absolutely free, well, you need to go over to our website and check out that banner at the top of the page. It's Christmas with Charles Billingsley. It's going to be at Union Chapel Church Wednesday, December 13th at 7 o'clock. They are free tickets. You have to have a ticket to get in because they have to make sure they have not too many people in the building. That's the only reason why they have the tickets. So they are free. Click that banner at the top of our website for more info and to go get your tickets right now. I just clicked it. Yep, everything's working there. So you better hurry, though. It says few tickets are left. So there's that. Plus, there's the On Now button just above that banner, and you can listen to us online by clicking that and then pressing play. Right now, we've got listeners all over the place. We've had Kansas on with us right now. We've got Nikki listening with us in Owensboro, Kentucky. Hope you're having a great morning so far. We've got Skyline, Arab, Grant, Guntersville, and Boaz, Alabama on right now. We've got Joel Modis in Palm Coast, Florida, and of course, our friends over in Helsinki, Finland. Thanks for hanging out right here on the Lifeline Morning Show. All right, more great Christmas music headed your way. I've got some Third Day with Christmas Like a Child. I'm a sucker for a good story that's got a really cool point to it. And I want to share this with you that I found. Her name is Lee. And here, take a listen.
I want to tell you a little story if you want to stick around and listen. When I was probably, I would say I was about 4 years old, I used to go stay with my nanny sometimes. My grandmother. I called her Nanny. I was her second grandchild, and I was her first granddaughter. And my nanny was always cooking. She could cook like nobody's business. I remember sitting at her table and watching her cut the crust out for a peach cobbler and, bake cakes, and she would let me lick the beater. We actually ate eggs then, raw eggs. But she also owned a restaurant. It was called Ollie's Sandwich Shop. It was a little restaurant. But she always served up good Southern cuisine. And I remember going over there, and I always felt like I was a big shot when I went to my nanny's restaurant, because she owned it. I felt like I could do what I wanted to do. Well, when I was around her anyway, I felt like that, because she was so sweet. She'd let me get away with everything. But I can remember going over there this one time. She was back there frying hamburgers, or cheeseburgers. And she said, "Baby, you want to help me?" I said, "Oh, yes, ma'am, I'll help you." And, she was showing me how to do it, how to fry cheeseburgers. And I can just remember her making me feel so important. You know, trusting me enough to fry a cheeseburger. And, you know, taking the time out of her busy work day to show me how to fry a cheeseburger. But most importantly, her making me feel important. That was a lesson that I learned many, many years ago. Always make people feel important, like they have worth. I'll never forget it. I'll never forget my nanny. She passed when I was 15 years old. That was probably the first big loss in my life, was her. But her lessons live on. I just wanted to share it.
Hey, I wonder, would it be okay with you if we played a game together? Could we do that? Okay, so I came across this guy over on TikTok who, he put this video up and well, I'll just let him explain it to you, but we'll play this thing together, okay? All right, here we go. Let's start it.
Okay. True Gen Xers ought to be able to figure out the rest of these TV commercial taglines. Fill in the blank. I got 12 of them. Let's go. Pardon me, sir. Do you have any...
What is it? Do you have any... Yeah, you got it. Grey Poupon.
Where's the...
You got it. Yep. Where's the beef?
The best part of waking up.
Yeah, I heard you sing it. Is Folgers in your cup?
Calgon.
Take me away. That's the one I didn't know ahead of time. I had to look that one up because I'm a millennial, not a Gen Xer.
My baloney has a first name.
It's O-S-C-A-R. My baloney has a second name. It's M-A-Y-E-R. Yeah, you're dancing, aren't you?
This is your brain.
And this is your brain on drugs.
We will sell no wine.
Before it's time. I had to look that one up too. But you remembered it, didn't you?
Just say no to...
drugs.
Lego, my...
Eggo. Those things are still around.
I don't want to grow up. I'm a...
Toys R Us kid. You know they're coming back, right? They've got more stores opening, by the way. I had to tell you that.
Give me a break. Give me a break.
Break me off a piece of that. Yeah, you got it. Kit Kat bar. Good job.
I've fallen.
And I can't get up.
Okay.
That's it. That's the game. Did you get them all? Yeah? Thanks for playing with me. Hey, I love having a blast with you. Well, it's come to that time. It's time for me to bid you adieu. But before I do, I want to leave you with one final thought. Your inspiring quote of the day. I love that I've got 4 hours to think about this one. I go ahead and start the show with it, and I end it with it, too. Here you go. The undertaking of a new action brings new strength. Think about that for a second. I know, it's like sometimes we feel like we get stuck in a rut, and it's like we can't figure our way out of there. We keep trying and trying and trying, but are we trying anything new? Ooh, there's something about doing something new that increases your vitality. It helps you feel more alive. It's like you haven't tried this thing before, but now you're trying it and you're succeeding at it. It just puts you in a better mood. So I want to encourage you today. Maybe you find yourself in a funk. Maybe you find yourself in a place that's just like you don't like being there. It's really dark. You're not enjoying yourself. Maybe it's time for you to start something new. Not to make any big changes per se, but maybe just to start something new on the side. Something you've thought about for a long time, but you've never had the courage to do it. Well, maybe dip your toes in the water a little bit and see if it doesn't help your attitude and your outlook on life. Because let's face it, if we're feeling defeated, we are not in a good mood. But if we feel like we are accomplishing things, that improves our mood. So it's a little mind hack for you. Try something new today. And who knows? It might become a brand new hobby, something you're really good at. It might even become a career change. You never know. Wow, you might just bump into God's purpose for your life. Isn't that crazy? Sometimes He has certain things for us to do in certain seasons, and we never know if we don't give it a try. So try it today, okay? All right, I'll take that challenge with you. See you right back here tomorrow from 6 to 10 for another Lifeline Morning Show. But for now, about Cochran & Company this Christmas.